Amino acid supplements are a waste of money. Hey everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And this is a topic that is important to know because these have been a long-term product. They weren't even always a scam. Oftentimes some of them, the makers probably really did think there were benefits. A lot of coaches and even potentially nutritionists thought there were benefits to some amino acid supplements. But as studies have come out over time and we've looked at things like muscle protein synthesis, muscle growth, we know they're not really beneficial. And there's kind of two categories we really need to talk about because the research is slightly different regarding the effects. But in general, the point is they are a waste of money. They are a waste of money. One of them is just really inconvenient and inefficient, and the other is a complete scam. So the two types we usually hear people talking about are branched chain amino acids and then just normally essential amino acid supplements. So we need to be clear so that we understand this. Yes, protein is made out of amino acids. All proteins are made out of all 20 amino acids. There are very, very, very few incomplete proteins out there. The argument that some are less complete, barring something like gelatin, maybe creatine, barring that, the even plant proteins that are sometimes considered to be, some people will call them incomplete, it's because they're slightly low in one or two of the essential amino acids, okay, out of the essential ones. So we need to be clear on that. They're slightly low. They have below average amounts compared to other foods. It doesn't mean that they don't have significant amounts of it, okay, or that they're only trace amounts. They're still usually decently high amounts of all 20. So we need to be clear on that. We don't really find proteins in nature that are incomplete. It's usually again stuff like gelatin that we've made is the one that I can think of definitely off the top of my head that's incomplete. So when it comes to this, one of the big ones that came out was branched chain amino acids, and a lot of that was based upon some preliminary research, and I'm not going to get into all that too much, mainly because I had to go through a lawsuit over all of this over a decade ago. It was in another country, and so it was pretty much an unwinnable case. But later the meta-analysis came out and showed, look, branched chain amino acids really don't do anything. So we know that the preliminary research that a lot of people used to market them was absolutely biased. It was financially biased by an individual's doctoral work, but he was already in financial cahoots with the main company selling this product, right? And I personally have known the person who came out with it originally, put it on the market on top of that, and that being Lowbliner. So the thing with that is, the idea was that they may boost muscle protein synthesis, but meta-analysis has shown they do nothing. So when you see people who are like, oh, it's a waste, if you're already taking complete proteins, they're a waste. It's like being in a swimming pool and pouring water out of a bottle on top of your head. No, it would be like pouring air on top of your head. It doesn't do anything, because at least the water in the bottle would still get your head wet if it was above the water. It's just that there's no need because there's so much other water there. What we find in the lab, branched chain amino acid supplements do literally nothing for muscle protein synthesis, nothing for muscle recovery, nothing for muscle growth. Now people say, so they're using that theory, if you weren't in the pool of water, they would say, well, see, then it might be useful. Or people say, well, if you're on a really lower protein vegan diet, they would probably be useful. Nope, turns out they're not even then. That's been studied in the lab. And we found that vegans who consume, like on all plant-based diets, who are on, only like 60 or 70 grams of protein, when they add branched chain amino acids in, they still do not get a muscle protein synthesis response from it. And it's because it appears that you need all the essential amino acids, not just those 3 branched chain ones. Do they have the highest potential for anabolic signaling, potentially leucine, in a complete matrix? Yes. In fact, leucine content is one of the major determiners of how anabolic, a particular protein is. Something like whey protein is actually higher than average in all 3 of those, including leucine. So therefore, it does have a great anabolic response, but it's only in the matrix of a complete protein. And in fact, when they've given IV transfusions of branched chain amino acids in very large quantities done with an IV, that one study actually found it reduced muscle protein synthesis. It actually had a negative effect. So in theory, you would gain less muscle from having done it. All right. So then we come over to the essential ones. People will point out essential amino acids are the ones we really need. Our body can make the other 11 to 12. Whether there are 8 or 9, I think for a long time was a point of contention. There was always agreed to be at least 8. 9 was always a point of contention. I don't know what the current consensus is on that. I haven't looked it back up in the last 7 or 8 years because I don't care enough. But we know there's at least 8. And all the others your body can make out of those. So the idea here was, well, it's just more efficient to just take the essential amino acid supplement. So you do see that. You do see companies that produce the essential amino acids by themselves. However, we run into the same problem. When you compare the cost to manufacture that to something like whey protein, guess what? It's more expensive. Therefore, it costs more gram for gram. But people say, but it's more anabolic, right? No, when that's been studied, it actually turns out that a complete matrix of proteins like whey protein, when it's compared in the lab, like let's say you have a whey protein supplement that has 10 grams of the essentials and whatever, 15 of non-essentials, right? So just the essential amino acid is like 10 grams. When that is given to someone and compared to giving them an equivalent amount of free essential amino acid supplements, which one do you think caused more muscle protein synthesis? There's, again, more potential for muscle growth. The complete protein, the whey protein, produced a larger anabolic response in the muscles than the more expensive free essential amino acids. So even people have speculated, well, because they're free, they don't require to break it down. It's just directly exactly what you need. It turns out it causes less muscle growth. Is it massively less? No. But here's the thing. They cost more money and produce a weaker response. I want to state that again. That's why they're a waste of money. They're not useless in that case. Branched chain amino acids completely useless. Essential amino acid supplements that contain all the essential ones, or even a mixture of everything put into just a free amino acid, it turns out that when it's studied, not only does it cost more for you to buy it and more to make it, so again, this is a more resources used, it produces less muscle protein synthesis. So in short, if you need more protein in your diet beyond whole foods, whether you're protein overfeeding or whatever, at this point, a simple whey protein, whether you choose an isolate or a concentrate, depending on if you're lactose intolerant, will produce the best results for the lowest amount of money. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.